YouTube friends and family, and happy Throwback Thursday. So I'm trying to get in the Christmas spirit a little bit here. So I have on my Baby It's Cold Outside shirt. So, kind of getting there. There's a few little reindeer and Christmas trees on my earrings. So, what are we going to make today? Y'all, this was a hard one. I wanted to come up with a dish that would be suitable either for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. So today we're going to be cooking from Better Homes and Gardens, birthdays and family celebrations. How cute is this little guy? And then if you look on the back, I love the illustrations so much. Look at the pumpkin that they're working on. So this was a 1963 cookbook, and I wanted to tell you it goes through everything. Birthdays, it has kids, teens, grown-ups, holidays, family style, New Year's Eve, Valentine's, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And Christmas was all sweet treats, and that's not what I wanted to do. And then the final chapter is special occasions, all in the family. Showers she'll remember, aunt and uncle open house, and a silver anniversary buffet. Now, if you look in a modern cookbook, you're not going to find that type table of contents. And if you see here, this little gal is working with her Garden Row cupcakes, which come straight from the land where lollipops grow on trees to delight every birthday child who's ever read Hansel and Gretel. So it looks like a little clay pot, some ice cream, some mint leaves, some sprinkles, and then like a cake pop type thing. I also wanted to show you, here's a bigger picture. So they have a lot of Halloween treats as well, like the little popcorn balls, so cute. But this is actually from the turkey dinner no carving menu, and it's fried turkey pieces, which we're not making that, don't like turkey. We're going to be making a cranberry apple delight. Now I know cranberry is very traditional for Thanksgiving, but having that lovely red color, I thought it would also be appropriate for Christmas as well. So we can go either or. So the first thing we need, let me kind of run through the ingredients in case you're cooking along with. We need the smaller package of raspberry Jello, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Some water, 2 cups of whole berry cranberry sauce. If you like it, 1/2 cup celery. I am going to omit that, y'all. I hate celery. And then 1/4 cup of walnuts. So I'll probably increase the walnuts so it'll have some texture to it, since we're not going to be putting the celery in it. So let's get started here. So the first thing we need, I can never figure out how to keep these books open, is 1.25 cups of boiling water. So over here on my stove, I am just going to bring this 1.25 cups of water to a boil, because we want to dissolve our gelatin in the boiling water. Now, you'll notice that my Jello, my raspberry Jello, is in a cup. Reason being, the only raspberry Jello I had in my pantry was this ginormous box, which is a 6-ounce box. It does specify a 3-ounce box. So what I did was I put it on the scale and just measured it out. I tried to give you all a estimate, so it's a little more than 1/3 cup, in case you're in the same predicament that I am and you really don't have the right size box. I did have black cherry, but I wasn't sure how cherries and cranberries would taste together, and apples, because, oh, did I say apple? Yeah, you're gonna need 1 cup of apple with the peel on. I think I skipped right over that. So I'm gonna wait for this water to boil. I wanna show y'all, and I will link it below if you have interest. I found the neatest little gadget. It's a stirrer, but if you twist it, it turns into a balloon whisk. So flat this way, poofy this way. So I think that once our water comes to a boil, I'll be whisking in that Jello. I'll bring you back at that time. All right, we are at a good rolling boil. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the heat and start whisking in our raspberry Jello. Now, I don't see any reason why you couldn't use sugar-free Jello for this. Wow, this steam made that stick, didn't it? I've not tried that, so I can't say for sure, but if sugar-free Jello sets up, I don't know why that would make any difference at all. So I'm always looking for ways, you know, to make things healthier. I just don't happen to have any sugar-free Jello. So yeah, there's that. Now, I'm gonna remove it from the heat because we are going to be adding our 2 cups of whole berry cranberry sauce. So I do have a video on this where we canned this. It says June 3rd of 22, so last June was about when I did that. What I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to take my heat-proof bowl and let's go ahead and dump our Jello in. And the reason that I'm transferring containers is I do use enamel-coated cast iron, so that takes like forever to cool down, and I don't want to have to deal with that warming up everything in the refrigerator. So let's go ahead. This is a pint. Y'all, smells really good. Pint of cranberry sauce. Now somebody's probably going to wonder, could I use like a reduced sugar or artificially sweetened cranberry, whole berry sauce? I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. So that hot liquid is going to kind of dissolve the gel part of our cranberry sauce. Ooh, that smells really good. Wow, I like the rasp cranberry. But I do want to get it stirred up well enough that most of the jelly kind of dissolves and integrates into that Jello. And one of the things, you know, as we've talked about in our past Throwback Thursday videos, is these recipes are not super fast, right? So it's actually not even 7 o'clock in the morning. But I wanted to get this going. Today I have my Azure pickup, and I also have a webinar that I'm going to. So I've got kind of a busy day, but in between, we'll let the refrigerator do our chilling for us. So I think we're pretty well dissolved. So I am going to put this into the refrigerator, and what the directions actually say, y'all, is chill until partially set. So I think a lot will depend on your refrigerator and the container probably that you use for the chilling. And then once it's kind of partially set, we're going to pull it out, add a whole bunch of deliciousness, and we're going to put it into a vintage Jello mold. I hope you'll stay tuned. All right, our Jello is partially jelloed, partially set. So the directions read, add remaining ingredients, which is a cup of diced, unpared or unpeeled red tart apple, half a cup of celery, 1/4 cup of walnuts. Now I am not, I'm not gonna add that celery, but let's see if I can adjust you a little bit. All right, I have one of my Zestar apples from the Piper Farmers Market, and I am just going to chop that up, hopefully not chop my finger up, and add to our partially gelled Jello. I've already done half of the apple, so one pretty good size apple I think is going to be just about right. And And I would think you could add any kind of apple that you prefer if you like, because of the sweetness of the cranberry and the Jello. If you want a tart apple like a Granny Smith, I would think that would be fine too. So do what suits you, right? All right, this is looking delish, and I will give those little apple pieces to my chicken girls because they like it. All right, give this a little bit of a stir. So here's what we're looking like. And then I do vacuum seal my nuts. As you hear, it vacuum seals well. And I'm gonna add a little bit, these are walnut pieces, not walnut whole. I'm gonna add, that's probably 2/3 to 3/4 of a cup. So that'll add a little protein to the salad to kind of offset all the carbs that we're gonna be eating. But again, guys, I think you could use a reduced sugar or a no sugar substitute just fine. My apples aren't cut all the way through. All right, it's looking good. So I have a couple vintage copper Jello molds. I don't know that it's going to fit totally in either one of these. This one's actually prettier, so let's make sure. There's a crumb in there. I think that came out of the nuts. Let's go ahead and fill this up. Wow, that is gonna work. Okay, barely. We're gonna call that good. Woo-wee, that is full. So you may be wondering, well, you know, why do they have you partially gel it, so to speak? You know, I'm gonna take that apple out because it's not chopped properly. And re-chop that, and we'll put it back in the top. And that is so, guys, you don't end up with a Jello mold where everything sinks to the bottom. And I've done Jello molds on a Throwback Thursday before. I have not done, let me say it that way, I've not done a savory Jello mold. You know, they have the tomato aspics, which just do not look good, or the ones with meat in them, and it just doesn't seem to be my cup of tea. So that is filled to the tippy top. So now what you want to do is you want to let this gel really, really well. Ask me how I know. So this is probably going to take a little bit of time. I may not even be able to unmold it until evening. I do have in my vintage refrigerator a quick chill tray, which is just right below the freezer compartment, which is not separated like today's modern refrigerators. So that's where I'm going to put that. Ooh, I've ooped over. I'll have to be careful getting that in there. So let me actually share something with you. Since this is Throwback Thursday, I started thinking about Jello, and Jello's certainly been around for many, many years. The real advent of the Jello salad, the congealed salad as they often call it, or the molded salad, super popular in the 50s. That's where all the weird Jello things came out. But I knew I had a Jello book, and I think I've actually made a recipe on a Throwback Thursday out of this book. This book is from 1973 versus 1963. And it is called The New Joys of Jello. And what I found was interesting is a little ditty in here, and it says, the joys of Jello gelatin are never ending. The same Jello gelatin that made a cool dessert many years ago, okay, and this is in 73, is still a shimmering example of versatility. Make it simple or make it elegant. Make it a dessert or a salad. Make it for family or for a special occasion. In any form, Jello gelatin has a light, refreshing, fruity taste. If you're a new or a pro to the world of Jello, you'll love the new joys of Jello. Start at the beginning with the very fast and easy to make recipes and work your way to the more intricate recipes. The chapter Basic Preparation Hints is divided into 3 sections: definitions, techniques, and tips. to help you make recipes in the book. You can use wide space in the margins to jot down your own time-saving tips. So it does, in the table of contents, go from easy to more difficult. One of the things that I've wanted to make, but I have never done, is this beauty right here with all of the Jello cubes in it. So it took me a while to actually find the recipe in the book, but it's called a crown jewel cake, and it has orange, cherry, and lime gelatin for the cubes, and then the body or the white part is lemon Jello, pineapple juice, and Dream Whip, which, if you guys remember Dream Whip was sort of a non-dairy topping that came in a little envelope, and I can't remember if you added milk or water to it, but you whipped it in the mixer and it was very artificial tasting. I grew up on Dream Whip, so maybe down the road we will make something new and different out of this Jello book. But I have so many cookbooks and so many things I want to make, y'all, that it's hard to pick a favorite. All right, so let me go back to our recipe we're making now, which is the Cranberry Apple Delight. It just says chill until firm. So that's what we're going to do. I will bring you back a little bit later, and we will try to unmold this in one piece. The easiest way to unmold a gelatin mold is to dip it into some hot water to kind of liquefy the very edges and then invert it onto a plate. So fingers crossed, guys, this is a very full mold that we can get this turned out yet today. I hope you're enjoying and following along. It smells amazing, y'all. I think this is going to be quite tasty and not one of those gross savory Jellos. So I'll see you very soon. All right, y'all. Our Jello salad is pretty solid, so I'm thinking it's ready to unmold. So what I've done here is put some hottish water in my sink, just tap hot. I'm gonna set the mold in there for just a minute so that it starts to loosen. I don't want to do it for too long because sometimes that doesn't work. And let's see if it's ready to come out. And sometimes you have to do this a few times. I guess you can't see what I'm doing, can you? I don't think I've got it quite unjellied enough. So let's let it set a minute longer. So if you're tempted, y'all, to stick it in the freezer to hasten up the solidification, I will tell you that in my experience, and this is just my experience, that does not work well, because it doesn't mean that the Jello's gelled and that everything's kind of congealed. What it actually means is it's frozen. So yeah, I would recommend that you actually let it have the hours. It is about, hang on and I'll tell you, it's almost 2 o'clock. Okay, now that's a bit looser. So I'm just gonna go around the little flower petals. Ooh, yeah, that might have been a bit much. But we're gonna find out here in a second, aren't we? And ooh, we're gonna put some Jello over here. And I do like putting the plate down and then inverting it. And sometimes the secret is you just have to break the suction enough. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I might have overdone it a little bit on the water bath. But how pretty is this, y'all? Looks delish, right? So let me clean this up, take a thumbnail. I'll come back for a taste test and give you some final thoughts. Y'all, I'm pleased. So there's a little bit of liquidish Jello, which will probably re-solidify. I just heated it a bit much, but it's actually pretty. I like all the ingredients. I'm not worried about eating it. So the book actually says serve over a bed of lettuce, probably to hide the melted Jello. And it says to serve with mayonnaise. Now y'all might be like, that sounds terrible. I personally do like real mayonnaise on my fruit and Jello salads because that vinegar tang kind of offsets the sweetness. But let me move you back just a touch. Grab my fine china. I am going to cut just a little. Oh, this is nice. A little piece here. I don't necessarily need the mayo, right? This would probably serve better on like a little bowl, but let's give it a taste test. Whoops. And pardon me. See, best laid plans sometimes. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, wow. The Jello is sweet. The apples add kind of a sweetness, but they're not super sweet apples. The cranberries add a really nice tartness. So this would be an excellent dish to serve. My homemade cranberry sauce just sets it off. It would be a great dish to serve, you know, with all the richness that we end up eating at the holiday times, you know, kind of cut through the gravy. And this particular menu was a fried turkey menu. So yeah, that's what we cooked today out of the Better Homes and Gardens 1963 birthdays and family celebrations. I'm super excited, guys, because while I was perusing cookbooks, I found one that I totally forgot that I had. And it's this, old-fashioned Christmas recipes. And it says hundreds of recipes printed 60, 70, 80 years ago or more ago. And it's actually a 1977 cookbook. So these are some real old recipes. I'm going to be doing some perusing to find an interesting dish. Y'all, I do try to make things, well, number one, that I'll eat because I don't like to waste food. Food's too expensive. But also things that are practical. So it might be an oldie but a goodie, so to speak. So one of the pictures, y'all, is of a roast pig. I'll show you that really fast. Yeah, so we won't be doing that. But at any rate, I hope you've enjoyed today's Throwback Thursday. Y'all, I'm gearing up for Christmas. I am going to start working on some Christmas decor, some Christmas crafts, some Christmas gifts. So all that's to come. If you haven't already, go ahead and respond to my poll where I ask if you wanted to see decor, cooking, or handmade gifts, or a combo of the three. I guess my fingers are kind of red from the Jello. And so far it looks like just mix it up. So that's probably what I'll be doing. And I'm not going to go super heavy on decor from a standpoint of you need to go buy this viral thing. My decor will be more about the vintage background, which I know a lot of you really enjoy. So I want to thank you for your time. Y'all, I am so excited. This morning we hit 5,900 subscribers. So my goal was 5,000 by the end of the year. I never thought I would hit that. I am so excited. I think we can hit 6. So if you know someone who enjoys content like this, go down below the video. There's a little arrow that says share. Share my video. Share it with your friends, your family. Share it on your social media. I really appreciate that. It brings people to the channel that have like interests, and it really does help me out. So when we get to the 6,000 subscriber mark, I am going to do a giveaway. And I'm hoping to come up with 2 or 3 winners. And unfortunately, it will probably be US based only, which I always hate to have to say, but sometimes that's the way it goes. But at any rate, if you haven't already, could you do me a big favor? Could you hit that like button? Could you go down and could you share the video? And then finally, leave me a comment below. Is there a vintage dish that you would like to see me make? Really, the sky's the limit, as long as it doesn't involve coconut, celery, or cilantro. Those are my 3 C's that I dislike. All right, guys, I will see you on Saturday, but until then, Be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.